So the president doesn't think we're in a recession or headed to one anytime soon, but technically in the quarter we're in, if it is contracting after the first quarter we were in where it was contracting, that would reach the classic definition of a recession, to back-to-back negative quarters. To Brandon Daniels, who follows all of this very closely over at Exiger, are we in a recession right now, Brandon?
I think it's pretty clear that we're in a downturn and that we're moving towards a recession, Neil. Now, whether or not that's a big R or a small r is still left to be seen. I think that the efforts that the Fed is taking in terms of interest rates are drastic, and that's what we're seeing the markets respond to. But they are attempts to hoover up the unprecedented spike we've seen in the M1 and M2 parts of the money supply, right? The cash that you and I have floating around. So they're trying to bring that back out in interest rates and markets and prices to try to rebalance the economy and put us back on a growth trajectory. But how big of an impact this kind of step will have and whether or not we'll go into a big R recession is left to be seen.
Yeah, if you think about it, they've only got, what, a little more than, less than 2 weeks, I should say, of this year, of this quarter, by the way, half year, to sort of turn things around. Because if we were to just take a snapshot where we are right now, we are probably barely treading water, if not down. So we're in a recession, unless they can do something to alter that in the next couple of weeks, which seems a little unrealistic. Hence the fallback that you hear from some economists that it might be a shallow recession at that. We're already talking about the degree of the slowdown here. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I mean, you've heard a lot of people talk about this as they were reflecting on what we did to stem the issues in COVID, right? Bernanke, Summers, everyone talked about what we would have to do in terms of drastic measures to contain this inflation. And I think the Fed is taking those measures, but they are going to have, I think, longer and more significant repercussions because of some of the adjacent issues that we've talked about in the past. I mean, gas is going to be higher because you're taking Russia out of the market. Food prices are going to be higher because supply chain issues. Microelectronics, computing, what drives our global economy, is going to be higher because there are shortages. And when you look at our alternative energy plans, the amount of lithium that we need to support even California by 2030 is a quantum higher than we have available in the market today. So we've got some longer supply chain issues that we have to tackle. Trying to tackle those during this inflationary period could be extremely difficult. And I agree, it'll be a shallower recession, but I think we're definitely headed towards something that could be a steep market downturn for 12 months to 18 months.
It is amazing, is it not, that we readjust or recalibrate in our minds just what we're in for. It used to be unthinkable to even talk recession. Now maybe finding some version of a light recession, a shallow recession, as some sort of a hopeful sign. The times in which we live. Brandon, thank you very, very much. We were raising